Okay, today we're going to do a little tomato planting. So I've got a styrofoam tray. This will float. So you can put this in a water bed and the roots will come right out the bottom. Now the only important thing when you put your soilless mix into this, you need to make sure you jam this down very good so that on the bottom all the dirt comes completely to the bottom, because if you don't, it won't wick the water. Okay? So this is the kind of tray that I'm going to show you how to plant. So anyways, we jam that down 2 or 3 times, make sure it's good and packed in there, and then we make little indentions in each one with our fingers to about 1/4 inch for tomatoes. Now I use vinyl blinds, recycled, pick them up at yard sales, friends give them to me wherever, and I cut these into little, about 4 inches long, and this is what I'll mark. I will put my name, the date, or the name of the tomato, or whatever I'm planting, the date, and then I'll write how many rows or whatever. So, that's a little frugal trick. So I'm going to have large red cherry tomatoes. We are going to do 1 row. There's 12 per row and 12 rows in this little tray here. So, now some of these seeds are a little older, so I will drop 2 seeds if they're a little older, just so I can make sure that I get 1 plant. Now as soon as these germinate and come up, if they have more than 1 tomato per cell, you know, each one of these little spaces is called a cell, I most definitely will take a pair of scissors and snip that off. So I've got that row of large red cherry, I've got my date, and I've got a little arrow down. So I can mark that and I know exactly what I planted there. Okay. Okay, next is garden peach tomato. This is the old heirloom tomato. It's about 3 ounces. Not a cherry, but it's a salad. It's not a slicer. And it's yellow. It's not orange. It's a true yellow tomato, and it's fuzzy. That's why it's called a garden peach. And it will actually get a little peachy, reddish blush to it when it's really, really ripe. And I'm going to plant 1 row of those. And I will get my little marker and jam it down in there. You know what? Storm, can you give me a pair of scissors, please, and bring them to Mama? I have to trim off these ends. They're too wide to go in these cells. Next, I have the it's a little cherry style tomato. Get me a pair of scissors, honey, on the computer desk. And it's a yellowish, whitish one. And I'll do just 1 row of those. Okay, whoops. Ooh, those tiny seed packets. Thank you, babe. Okay, so trim that off like so, and it will go in there a lot easier. Some of the cell packs that I have are big enough, wide enough for these just to slip right in, but I didn't think about that before I did that. Now when I get done with this, I'll cover this with the soilless mixture and pat it down really good, and then I'll take a mister bottle and mist it. I will then put it into a garbage bag. Tomatoes don't need light to germinate. I'll put it in a garbage bag so that I won't have to keep misting it. If you have a top or something, if you have different kinds of trays that have the tops, you know, that'll keep you from having to mist it, but you want to keep this moist until these germinate really well. So if you don't have a top or you don't put it in a garbage bag, you're going to need to mist these like every day to make sure that they're good and moist on top. That was the early cuff tomato. I guess I didn't make a marker for. Oh, yeah I did. And these will take, tomatoes generally take me about 5 days to germinate. So then, like I said, then I will take the soilless mixture and I will sprinkle that all on top, pat that down really nice. You want some good soil to seed. And then I will mist this with a mister bottle. Okay? Now, let me go in and show you what I'll do with this after it germinates. Now, the important part is, just as soon as this germinates, get that bag off immediately. Actually, I usually know what day they're going to germinate. About 5 days. I'm going to take it off the night before because you want that bag off immediately. Alright, let's go see the, where I'm keeping these. Alright, so here's my little stand where I put mine. Peppers just germinating today, so I hurried up and grabbed them babies, yanked them out of the bag, and put them under this. Now this light here is actually puts out some heat, so they're a little bit farther up, but I put them on like my peppers and eggplants because they really like the heat. Now here's tomatoes that are just started germinating last night, if you can see that. So they're just popping up, tons of them. And I have 2 grow lights on those, as you can see up here from the top, maybe 2 grow lights. And they have all the labels back there that show what they are, what day they were planted, and all that good stuff. So that's my little stand, how I have it rigged up. Down here I have Napier, the Chinese cabbage. And over here I have endive. Then I also have one of these little stands. You know, you pick up from like Lowe's. Now, every day that it's warm, my greenhouse I'm not heating yet because I don't have enough seedlings. These are ground cherries. They just started germinating. You can see those inside. You want to make sure that your light is really close to your plant. Generally, like no more than 2 inches above it. There's some Savoy cabbage and some regular, like, flat cabbage. Dutch, I guess you would call it. Anyway, so that's how I do it. Now, every day that it's warm enough, I will take these outside and let them get natural light. There's nothing better than natural light, you know? So that's how I start. A little word of caution, be sure you fasten your lights good. That's what happened there. It fell down and burnt all those pepper plants. So, of course, I had to reseed. There is some ones that are germinating. Like I said, I put them in the garbage bags. Now, things like lettuce and stuff need light to germinate. So be sure you check, you know, does it need light or does it not need light to germinate? If it needs light, you want to be sure it gets light. You don't want to put it in like a black trash bag. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned a little something. And good gardening this year. Thank you.